I knew. Like, I had conversations with Jay. I knew it was coming.
But Jay was like, I'm done.
It ain't working. It wasn't working.
Damn.
It wasn't working. They wasn't working. It was things that was being done from our conversation. This wasn't working out.
They don't tell you this part of the Roc-A-Fella breakup. Everybody argues Jay-Z versus Dame Dash. Money, ego, power. But Beanie Sigel just says something that flips the whole entire story on his head. Because according to Beanie Sigel, this wasn't about choosing sides. It wasn't about contracts. It wasn't even about titles. He said he knew the split was coming because Jay-Z was already done behind the scenes.
It could have been a Jay-Z just outgrew him. Just overall, just outgrew him. Sometimes you outgrow people in business and in relationships, period, no matter what they are. Perhaps they were in a different space in their lives when they met each other and they seemed like a good fit. And they maybe even were a good fit in the beginning. But as time passed, that fit just, it got a little bit janky.
Real conversations, private talks, no cameras, no headlines. Just Jay-Z saying it wasn't going to work for him anymore. And that's where things get interesting. Because while the whole world thought this was loud and messy, Beanie saw something quieter. Internal tension. Different cities pulling in different directions. He says it was Brooklyn versus Harlem, while Philly was on the outside looking in. And
Philly was easing in there, though.
Beanie choosing not to ride with either side at all. This isn't just internet talk. This is somebody who put his career on pause to help build the label. And what almost happened next will shock you even more. Now, I'm about to play this clip for y'all. But before I do, I just need y'all to like, leave y'all thoughts down below in the comment section, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Dig, let me ask you a question, man. So, when the breakup was happening, was it hard to pick who you was going with? When the breakup was happening with Rocafella?
No, I wasn't even thinking about who I was going to go with. I just didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought of it. Like, I knew it was going to happen.
Did you
like,
see it coming?
I knew. Like, I had conversations with Jay. I knew it was coming.
But Jay was like, I'm done.
It ain't working. It wasn't working.
And he leaned towards Dame, too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went with Dame.
Damn. It wasn't working. They shit wasn't working. It was things that was being done from our conversation. This wasn't working out. It wasn't working. It was...
was Cam being a president one of the big things?
No.
No?
I think that was something that was inside one of the big things.
Yeah.
That seemed like that was to antagonize. You know what I mean? That seemed like that was just to start something. That was Dame trying to, ruffle some feathers. If you ask me, I'm on the outside. I don't know.
But I don't think that was...
How was your relationship? You and Cam, everything was cool?
Yeah, but we didn't really get a chance to mesh like I wanted to with Cam because it was too much bullshit.
Okay.
Now, in that situation, I'm a Philly nigga, and I'm looking at to me, in my perspective, a Brooklyn Harlem thing unfold. So I gotta mind my business.
Yeah, it ain't none of your business. You out of town.
Yeah, I gotta mind my business. And that's what I think what was happening with Roc-A-Fella. Like, it was like in my perspective, my POV, I started seeing like a Brooklyn Harlem thing like happening. But that wasn't my business though.
That's deep.
Bean's voice sounded like it's coming back too.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just think like, everything happened for a reason. You know what I mean? And it's like I
don't believe that. People say that all the time, but a lot of terrible things happen that have no rhyme or reason. If you ask me, I don't want to start bringing up atrocities, but I don't go for that one.
Legendary in the fucking books.
I chose not to go with either one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you ain't go with either one of them?
No, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with 50.
What? 50 was trying to sign you?
That's how the left.
Yeah.
That's how
What
the left
type of deal 50 tried to give you?
Something crazy.
What was it?
If I can remember, it was something like, I don't know, probably around like 10 million.
Damn,
like
50.
That. Not me per se to myself, but he had everything structured. I was in the feds with his uncle. So we used to, we had a couple visits. We used to it said at the same time, man, his uncle would go out and make sure we sitting next to each other. I could talk to 50. Rocafella dissolved. So 50 was gonna be my a Beanie Sigel album. It wasn't no more company. If I could have got Freeway, and I think he said Chris and Neef, but it was gonna be a my single album, Freeway album, State Property Gene album, me and 50 album. It was like 5 albums, but the deal was structured probably like 10 million.
This is one of those hip-hop stories where nobody's really wrong and everybody loses something. When I listen to Beanie Sigel talk about the Roc-A-Fella breakup, what stands out to me isn't drama. It's maturity. He never sounds bitter. He never sounds emotional. He sounds like somebody who understands how business and relationships actually fall apart in real life.
Well, you know, and Beans has grown up a lot too, because Bean was known for a different vibe back then.
People love to turn Jay-Z versus Dame Dash into a superhero movie. One villain, one hero. But that's not how real companies collapse.
True.
Real empires break down quietly, through conversations, through frustration, through moments where things just stop working altogether. That's
When people stop being on the same page, stop pointing in the same direction.
exactly what Beanie described here. What really stood out to me was him saying he didn't want to choose sides. That tells you everything. When somebody refuses to pick a side, it usually means the situation is deeper than loyalty. It means the structure itself is cracking. And once the foundation starts shifting, no amount of talent or success can hold it together. Jay-Z being mentally done before the public breakup makes a lot of sense too. The vision changes, the pressure increases, the money gets bigger, and the stakes get even heavier. And the same moves that built the company can start holding it back. That doesn't mean anybody fails.
And what do you mean by that, Elroy Jet Setter Productions? Are you saying the pushiness of Dame, the attitude of Dame, the go-get-him attitude that put Rocafella together became a liability? That's how I see it, but what do I know?
It just means they outgrew each other. The
Facts.
Brooklyn
That's the
Harlem
same thing I
tension
said.
Beanie spoke about was also real. Every city has its own energy, its own leadership style, its own politics. And when you mix that inside a growing business, somebody eventually feels unheard. Somebody feels boxed out. And
That's not true in all businesses, but I can understand with the foundation of the Rock being what it was, that will make sense. But, you know, goddamn, that's not why Bill Gates and Wozniak broke up, because they was from opposite sides of town.
somebody starts thinking about the next chapter. What I respect most about Beanie is that he stepped back. He didn't jump into a war. He didn't play both sides. He chose peace over chaos. And that's not weakness. That's growth, especially in a business where loyalty is constantly tested. And let's keep
He also had a whole bunch of stuff going on too. Don't forget that, son.
it 100. Rocafella changing doesn't erase his legacy. It expanded it. Jay-Z went on to build a global brand. Dame Dash stayed independent and vocal. Artists took different paths, and hip-hop learned a lesson about ownership and control that still matters today. And here's the part a lot of people forget. Rocafella helped to lay the foundation for Jay-Z eventually becoming hip-hop's first billionaire. And that doesn't happen by accident.
Or one could say Rocafella was the stepping stone. It was the step ladder in order to make him that billionaire. I'm just saying.
That comes from lessons learned, some of them painful, and some of them public, some of them personal. So when people ask about who won the breakup, I think that's the wrong question.
You know who won.
The better question is, what did everybody else learn? Because every artist watching this story saw what happens when business outpaces communication,
Facts.
when leadership styles clash, and when success grows faster than alignment. So let me ask you all this. Do you think Rocafella could have survived if communication was handled differently? And do you
I don't know. I really don't know. The more we see of Dame now because of the internet and social media, and you get a real taste of someone's personality. Because before we saw glimpses and we read articles and things of Dame Dash here and there. You heard he was, he yelled a lot and so on and so forth. But when you look at his decisions of today, had he still been at the helm of Roc-A-Fella, I don't know where he would have taken it. Because look where everything else has gone. Poppington just got sold for $100.50 or something like that. And judging by what some of the other players in the game, like Cameron said, his decision-making process wasn't as strong as time went on as it was in the beginning. Maybe the tactics were more effective in the beginning, you know what I mean, that wouldn't play well on higher levels. Meaning, the bag of money to the radio station is one thing, but sitting in the boardroom, taking street tactics to these people, I don't know if it fared very well. And I think Jay-Z just said, listen, I'm going to drop the dead weight. Who knows? Was it disloyal? Who knows what their understanding was? Who knows if they had conversations about this ahead of time? And who knows? Because even Beans here wasn't specific in what he said, the conversations of Jigga being unsatisfied with the relationship was, but who knows what they were. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, why this played out the way it did. I mean, it was a sad thing to see pass, but it also was just a moment in time. Nothing lasts forever.